Well, despite the political nature of some of this story, we're not going to get very political today. I'm trying to keep this out of all things. It's more just a look at how you view people in general. And of course, what we're talking about, at least what I'm talking about today, is Bill Maher actually getting a sit down with President Trump, whether you like him or not. He actually got to sit down with him, meet him. Now, they are opposing on almost everything on all sides. But this is one of the things that I kind of want to tell everyone. You think you have someone pinned and pegged as a certain kind of individual, and then you meet them behind the scenes. Is that just the show they put on? Or are they actually just a decent person trying to do their best and you just happen to disagree with the way that they go about doing it? Bill Maher has his own take, which he said on his own show. So let's go a little bit into this interview. And even though it's not an interview, Bill Maher stuns fans with surprising take on President Trump after White House dinner. Bill Maher's show is also known for having applause signs and boo signs. So when he stuns the fans, I guess that means he's actually taking things off the cuff. And this is a surprising take because in this unexpected twist, it stunned both his audience and political observers. Political comedian, yeah, he used to be a stand-up comedian. He hasn't been for a long time, but he's had that show for a long time. It's Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. A longtime outspoken Democrat, notice Democrat, not necessarily liberal, offered unusually positive account of his recent dinner at the White House, describing it as not only civil but surprisingly pleasant. So, if you don't know anything about Bill Maher, where the hell have you been? Over the years, he has carved out a reputation as an unapologetically liberal voice, often mocking Republican figures with biting satire. That is debatable whether you find it biting or if you just think it's on the nose. That's not for any of it. Well, that's not for me to discuss right now. But his ongoing feud with Donald Trump has been especially bitter, with Maher routinely mocking the president as everything from a narcissist to an authoritarian. And I think even if you are on Trump's side, a lot of people say the same things, but they do it, yeah, mockingly, jokingly. It's called having fun, which is this is one thing that, I guess society nowadays, they seem to take everything so daggum seriously. We see it with stand-up comedy and oh, you can't say that anymore. It's like, why not? The whole point of comedy is to poke fun at everything. It's to find the humor in dire situations. That's what keeps us all from absolutely just self-ending ourselves with depression. But anyway, Trump is fired back by calling Maher a sleazebag and a low-life dummy before. So that, they've got a little back and forth. But despite that history, his recent trajectory has taken on a more independent tone. I don't know how independent it actually is. I think he's more just what's that? Is that an Alabama song? Southern Democrat, sweet potato pie, and I like it like that. I think it's more along those lines. Is that he's always kind of been a little bit libertarian, a little bit liberal, but the polls have shifted so much further. So now what used to be far left is moderate. And he has called out for it all the time. And he has been getting blasted also just for saying that, hey, I met with Trump. He was a nice guy. I didn't feel pressured. I didn't feel anything at all. It was an enjoyable time. But there's one thing, and I followed Maher a little bit. Not exactly a whole lot, but he's clashed with basically everything. Now, it's okay for people to have their own opinions about things, and opinions do change over time. I don't know why or if this is new news to anybody, because it shouldn't be, but a lot of people nowadays in the cultural sphere that we're in don't seem to think that you can differ. You can't differ. You have to be all in. You have to vote straight party ticket. You can't ask questions. You can't debate. You can't just outright disagree with someone else's thoughts, at least not in the political sphere. He doesn't seem to have a problem doing it, and he has flip flopped on stuff before, which is why I'm kind of taking this with a grain of salt. Because, okay, you had a great time. Is that going to change his political stance? No, it's not. If you're worried about that, don't worry. It's not going to change his political stance. But at least it gives him another side to the equation where he can hopefully take that into his brain and apply it to how he treats people in normal life, which is what we all should do anyway. Talk to people that you don't agree with. Try to understand their point of view. Help them try to understand your point of view. Middle ground sometimes can be found, and that's how we all grow as human beings. But while his core political beliefs haven't changed, his refusal to toe the activist line has led to backlash from many in his own party because of that straight party line ticket thing. You're either with me or you're my enemy. Well, only a Sith or a liberal deals in absolutes and once considered a reliable voice of the left. Oh my gosh, how many times do we have to reiterate that? I just said that exact same thing. But it's against that backdrop that his meeting with President Trump unfolded and why it caught so many off guard, because he actually talked about, unscripted, he talked about what it was like to meet him. And this is one that had like Kid Rock and Dana White, the guy who owns UFC. And it was Maher's interaction with Trump that stole the spotlight for him. Everything I'm not liked about him was absent. It just wasn't there when he got to sit down with him. I wonder why that is. Maybe because it's on a public stage. Maybe. At least on this night with this guy. Well, unless he's the best actor ever, and we know he's actually not, maybe that's how he really is. The liberal-leaning talk show host and longtime critic of the president admitted that he had come armed with a list of insults. He wanted to get him to autograph some of the insults to him and a couple of pictures. And Trump just laughed and was like, yeah, I'll do it. Heck yeah, I'll do it. Because I think a lot of people walk around with a stick up their ass. I think a lot of people do. They're expecting it to be a big fight when you're face to face. It's like, no, I laugh at myself too. I hope you understand that. Like, not everything is seriously. And when we sling pot shots on the internet, please don't take that personally. If you take it personally, you'll end up into Alyssa Mercanti situations where you're actually trying to take that to court. But Maher goes on to say, I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. Make of it what you will. So let me make of it what I will. Is because he is a man of the people. Yes, he grew up with a little bit of a silver spoon in his mouth. Yeah, I get all of that. But he also is down in the trenches with people. He talks to the normal folks. He goes to the flyover states. He has done this even when he wasn't running for office. He has done this throughout his entire career. I can't say his entire life because I don't know his entire life, but like, he's kind of known for just going anywhere. It's like, oh, y'all want me here? I'll go. There's not a upfront fee in order to see them, and you won't be able to talk to him. You can shake his hand and then move the hell on. That's kind of what Trump has been like. So I don't understand why this was just eye-opening to Bill Maher, but maybe it was because he went in with an axe to grind and found that there was no axe to grind. Maher revealed that Trump not only asked his opinion on major issues like the Iran nuclear deal. So, I mean, obviously they got into political posturing and stuff like that. They actually talked about real things and not just shooting the shit around the dinner table, sipping coffee after they had dessert. Then they disagreed, but he also listened calmly and didn't lash out. He didn't get mad or call me a left wing lunatic. He just listened. This is what one side of the aisle seems to be really bad at. Now, I understand the other side of the aisle is kind of bad at it too because they don't want to listen and sometimes overlook the nuances to what the other side is trying to say, but it just doesn't come across the right way. So I understand, but when you actually sit down, have conversations with people, listen to them without immediately having rebuttals for everything, let them get their thought process out. This is the only way that you grow. You got to let the gears turn. And then the intake valve can come in from their side, and then it gets mixed into the system, and then we can actually have productive dialogue and productive conversation. He goes on to say that he went on to contrast Trump with other powerful figures he's met. I've met so many people don't look you in the eye. People don't really listen to you because they just want to get on to the next thing. They're on a tight schedule. Well, Trump wasn't like that. He was like, man, I've got all the time you need, man. Let's sit down. Let's eat some biscotti. And just to keep this one a little bit short, and oh my goodness, I just looked at the runtime. Just to keep this one a little bit shorter today, he also goes on to say that, well, no, Trump laughs and he doesn't fake it. He generally wants to joke around. He wants to have a good time. He wants to keep things lighthearted. And he doesn't pressure you in anything. You make your own choices, kind of like the everyman. And the everyman's president for over half the country. Whether or not you like him, whether or not you voted for him, whether or not you abstained, whatever side of the aisle you fit on, this is what we need more of in today's culture. Two sides, I wouldn't say diametrically opposed, but just two opposing sides coming down, sitting down together, having some serious conversations, having some laughs, shaking hands, and walking away with their bellies full and their hearts light. That's just me, though. This is Malty from Mouth of Malty. And yes, there were no jokes in here today, but that's okay. Sometimes things are serious and lighthearted. Y'all have a good one. Bye bye. Bam, bam, ba-dum, meow. Ba-dum-da-dum. Now, 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 now. How now, brown cow?